Hello everyone and welcome to our Game Week 23 review show. If you've not watched or listened to us before, welcome. I'm Chris and with me is the other half of the FPL Cougars team, Kieran. Hello.
Good evening, alright, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you. So now, as you know, we usually do a preview show in the week, but with so long to wait until the next game week, decided to recap this weekend's action and cast one eye or two on Game Week 24. So we'll be talking about the title race this evening and how the relentless chase will impact FPL. We'll also discuss the merits of Spurs assets without Kane, as well as focusing on form players and differentials who could really impact your team in the next couple of game weeks before those blanks and inevitable doubles occur. So we also wanted to say, in some unrelated FPL news, we've tried to adjust our audio recording setup, so if we're sounding crystal clear right about now, just drop us a video like and let us know. So we hope it's much better.
Please do.
Yeah, so let's start by having a look at our Game Week 23 scores. Keek, how did you get on?
78 in the end, so yeah, nicely above average as you can see to the left, which was 53. Foster getting me a nice clean sheet for 8 points. This is after I bought him in. That's his first clean sheet for about 4 weeks, I think, or something. So yeah, happy with that. A bonus point and a point from saves as well. Robertson, obviously a big game and getting 5 points, conceding 3. Continued to prove value there with 5 points, which is good. And then Sterling, 10 points, getting 2 bonus off Sane. I'm not really sure why he got 2 bonus in the end, but happy with that. And then bringing back in Salah, finally a nicer a green when Salah's back in. And stick the captain on him for the foreseeable future. And hopefully he'll do the business for me. Pogba and Rashford continuing to do bits as well.
So you had a good score. So you had the decision to make, didn't you, this week, about what to do with Kane? Wasn't that right?
Yeah.
Like me?
Yeah.
So you went, was that Kamara you went?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, complete downgrade. I got 3.7 in the bank as well. Bought in Salah for Anderson, I think it was. And Anderson continued to do nothing, so happy with that decision. 2 free transfers, so no hits or anything, which also helped this week. So good week altogether. I think it was something like a 25k rise, so I'm up to about 64k now, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's great. And looking at your team, you got every available point out of it this week because you had no points on your bench. And you picked your highest scoring player, so squeeze the juice out of it.
Strange that, Gunnarsson didn't play, which is kind of a bit strange. And then Wan-Bissaka ended up on 0, and then Kamara didn't play at all either. So I'm hoping that's not a sign to come with Kamara. I hope he gets at least a few minutes, but he might have been a bit of a missight, putting him in with Barbel coming in straight away. That might be an issue going forward. I might have to address it at some point.
Actually, my bad, because you had Wan-Bissaka on 0. Could have played instead of Dean, that classic own goal. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's true.
My game week was a little worse by comparison. So I hit 70 points. I had to take I didn't have to take a 4-point hit, but I chose to. So I took Kane out this week for Rashford, and I'd also had enough of Martial, so a little bit of a risk when it's going sideways, but I took Martial out and brought Pogba in, but he repaid the faith. And I think just from the eye test as well as the stats have shown that despite him playing a little bit positionally further back with more of an advanced midfield role, he's just getting into better chances, better scoring positions, having more shots. And he's more assured of minutes. So I'm pleased that transfer paid off. I kept hold of Trent, and I was very excited on Friday when the news broke that he could actually start on Saturday, but that didn't come to be. So I had Højbjerg come in, so 70 points. I think I dropped about 800 places from about 36,800 to 37, 400 or something like that. So it wasn't. Yeah,
it was without the hit. It probably would have been in green, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just needed to be done, I suppose. Pogba looks great going forward. Martial was maybe a little bit unlucky in that game, but Pogba it's just looking fantastic, isn't he? So.
Yeah, he's looking really good. I was a bit disappointed and surprised, like many people, with Doherty over the weekend, because I was sort of banking on an exciting game there. I did think there'd be goals in that one, and to see him benched, I haven't really. The only real potential reason come out of it is that his wife may have given birth and they've had a baby, and he was given a bit of time off leading up to the game. So perhaps that was it. So I'd expect him back in the lineup next game week.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, before we move on to our sort of game-by-game review, we also just want to touch on the FPL Cougars League. If you're not part of it, the code to join is in the description, but we just want to shout out Shannon, who keeps just, doing fantastically, I think is what I'll say on that one. She's up to 6th now overall. I think she had about 70-odd point game week, and she's about 45, 50 points off first place, so well done and keep that up. But I really want to shout out to Sam Rayner, who is 22,000th in the world now. He jumped 40k places. He played his wildcard this week and scored 102 points. Captained Salah, and he had Rashford, Sane, Pogba, Ale, Firmino, Jimenez, Kolasinac, Edison, and Yedlin. So pretty much every player, all of his 11 scored points, and yeah, huge jump there. And yeah, well played on your wildcard. Really good.
Yeah, nice. Well done.
Really good stuff. I think you and I are flailing in the Cougars League. We're like 7, maybe not even in our top 20 in our own league. So
no, but I'm about 70th, something like that. It feels bad. But
it does feel bad. It's nice that there are some people in the league doing so much better than us, and fighting for the overall first place. So yeah, it's cool to see. Right, then onto the general fixture discussion tonight, and we're going to change up the format. As you know, if you're a usual watcher, we do it usually in the order the games happen over the weekend. Because we want to talk about the title race a bit tonight, we're going to start by talking about Liverpool, Palace, and then move on to City, and just how their assets from both teams are sort of going to come to the forefront in this title running now. Because with 4 points between the two teams, I think both teams are going to be going hell for leather, aren't they, as the season comes to a close?
Yep.
So Liverpool against Palace, they had conceded 3 goals, which I think they've only conceded 3 all season, to concede 3 in one game. At home, yeah, huge surprise, especially against Palace. How did you sort of rate the performance from an FPL point of view? Were you a bit worried watching those goals go in, or you think, oh good, it's going to be a comeback now?
A little bit of both, I suppose. Obviously having Robertson, most people either kept Trent or kind of went other ways, or to Robertson itself. So kind of Robertson's points are a little bit nullified, I suppose, this week. But yeah, anyone that kept Trent probably had Robertson as well, so that probably didn't really matter. But Matip coming in didn't look exactly great, did he? And when he comes in, they concede 3 goals. So I don't know. I hope that's not a sign of things to come, and Liverpool's defence is going to become a bit more shaky. Hopefully not. But yeah, Klopp afterwards, he did say he still wasn't sure on Alexander-Arnold. So I don't know, when he said in the pre-Christmas press conference, wasn't it, when he said he might play on the weekend, and then after that match he still said he's not sure if he's going to be able to play next week or whatever. So give us some, I don't know, a little bit clearer information would be nice, I suppose. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it's a tricky one with Trent, because initially the first report came out it was going to be 4 weeks, wasn't it? And everyone rushed to transfer him out, and I think Dean was a popular pick. It was about Monday or Tuesday last week, wasn't it? Because I don't think we heard it official from the club. It was a close to sort of a Liverpudlian journalist that tweeted it out, and then it got confirmed later.
Yep.
And then when we heard on Friday he could be back, and he was what did Klopp say, something like he's a good boy or something like that? He could be back in contention. Everyone got a little bit excited again. So I think I'm going to just leave him on my bench for a bit. I'm quite happy to play my other 4 defenders if I need to, or 3 at the moment. So he's good value, and I think when he comes back into the side, Liverpool have still got a great run, and I think their defence is better with him in the side, and he's such good value at 5.2. I think it'd be a bit of a shame to just sell him, especially what it's going to be like. He's just going to pop up in the team when you're not expecting it. So yeah, I'm going to hold on to him for now.
9 days, like I said, in between the next FPL or Premiership games, so you'd think he'd be all right by then. If they said that he could be possibly all right for this game, then he should be all right in 9 days, right? Yeah, he should be. Yeah, Klopp said he heals quickly. He heals fast. So yeah, let's hope he's all right.
Yeah. I was pleased. Well, we both were that Salah got the 2 goals captaincy. But did you think he looked a little bit fortunate? Like the 2 goals were sort of odd. Like one was the sort of the first time finish from the deflection, which looped up high in the air, and the second was that goal line scramble. I think those were his only 2 shots on target. So I think he was a little lucky to not get that yellow for diving on that penalty. Yeah. So it was a funny game for him, but his form is just irresistible at the moment. That's 12 goal involvements in the last 8, and he's averaged 11 points per game in his last 8 games as well. So that's pretty incredible numbers, really. So it's nice to have you back on the Salah train.
Yeah, I wish I never left. He looked great, didn't he? Well, maybe not great, but foreseeable captain for the next 3 weeks at least. No reason to ever get off him again. I think he'll probably be in my team next season as well. Like, maybe he gets put into a forward, but there's no one else I'd rather captain in the next few. And nothing much else to say, really. It just looks ideal.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, whatever we've said about Salah, we've said it before. But you raised an interesting point about being the captain. About being in the forward position next year. Because when I was doing the notes for tonight's show and looking at Wilf Zaha and the fact that he was converted from what was essentially a left and right wing position last season, he played up front towards the end of the season. That's exactly what's happened with Salah this. So I think it's very, very likely that he'll be placed in a forward slot next season, and what that will mean for FPL. And I wonder just in general whether the other FPL forwards are going to be priced a little bit differently. But that's a huge can of worms there. So maybe we'll crack that one out open again when there's an international break going on. I also wanted to bring up Firmino because he was quite a popular replacement actually for Kane, with a few people doubling up on the Liverpool attack, and I think that's quite a wise thing to do now. So with all these defenders dropping out, and like you say, Matip coming back in and not convincing, I think it's time for the front three to really step up again, and I think Klopp will let them do that with these upcoming fixtures. So I think it was the first time in quite a while. I didn't actually go back and check, but I can't remember the last game that Firmino, Mane and Salah all scored in the league, or if it's even happened this season. I'm sure someone will correct me, but it was a good move for people that got him in, and he's now got 5 goals in the last 4 games. And he looked pretty active against Palace. He had 7 touches in the box, and 1 shot. I think it was a good performance from him.
Yeah, he's an awkward price bracket, and no one else really around there is kind of offering anything other than maybe Lacazette. But Lacazette kind of seems to get taken off and is probably not the main man. But whereas Firmino is a main man in the 3, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like he's not replaceable, whereas he's not benchable. It seems, whereas Lacazette is. So in that sort of price bracket at 9.2, I think, if you've got those sort of funds and you don't want to go down to a completely non-premium forward line like we have, then he seems like a great option, and they've got great fixtures. Their attack seems good, and Salah and Firmino / Mane, always provide points. Like Mane getting points as well. You can't go wrong with a double up, maybe.
No, it's difficult. I think there may be a shift generally. I don't think I'm going to do it, but potentially from moving from what was 2 Liverpool defenders maybe to 2 Liverpool attacking players just for this run, especially while the defence is a little bit in pieces. And I think now that Milner got that red card, does that mean he misses this one? This next one coming up?
2 yellows is one ban, isn't it? So I guess he'll miss the FA Cup.
Oh, they're out, aren't they? They lost against Wolves.
They are. That's true. Yeah.
I think they've got.
So, they'll miss the Newcastle game, or Milner will.
Yeah, that's right. I think what a huge advantage they got over City in this title race, which is why as well I think that they'll power on through these next games. City have 2 games to contend with before they play next in the Premier League, and Liverpool don't have any. So they've just got like a rest for 9 days now, so it's a good chance for their squad to freshen up. And
City have the squad, don't they? They have Mahrez wasn't even in the squad today or on the weekend. Sorry. So it's just they've got squad for days. Company not there. Like Stones didn't play. There's just so many like players that they can just bring in. So I don't think that's going to be a huge issue in the terms of title race and how many games City have. So compare squads between Liverpool and City. Like Liverpool's is way less good. Basically, that they're once any injuries happen to Liverpool's main 11, you can see that they start to get a little bit bare bonesy. Matip just coming back in after injury, like Lovren injured, Gomez injured, Trent injured. Their defense starts to have like makeshift defenders coming in, and Milner, Fabinho. Maybe he needs to trust some of the youth to bring them up. I don't know, because it's natural positions, but not sure.
No, it's difficult to do when they're chasing their title, isn't it? The first one in
that's true.
20 odd years. So on the flip side, we've got on the Sunday, we had Man City chasing them down with a convincing 3-0 away performance at Huddersfield. But I just love Pep's standards, because he said something like, we didn't deserve more than 3-0. I mean, 3-0 away is a great result for any team, but to say they didn't deserve more than 3, I love it.
it's true. They were very slow and just seemed relaxed, like they were always going to win the game. That's what it felt like. Just they blew them away in like a couple of minutes, the 2 goals and obviously the first goal in the first half. But other than that, they were very mundane and didn't do much, really. Didn't create any other chances. Just on the break, Sane doing well. Sterling being in the right place with a nice cross from Sane. Just minor little bits, I think. That's why I'm slightly worried for Everton next week as well, keeping Richarlison and Digne and stuff, because I think Huddersfield were quite solid, other than the just small minor bits that they let City go in, which is just what City do. But yeah, Huddersfield, other than that, were quite strong. So
yeah, I think Huddersfield have been a bit like that all season, haven't they? I think they're long gone in the league now, but they can usually put up a solid and compact performance. I think we saw against Liverpool earlier in the season, didn't we? Liverpool found it hard to break them down at Huddersfield's home. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised, like you say, if it's another tight game next week. Sterling and Sane have just been blowing teams and me a bit out of the water recently. So I've been hip hopping between Sterling and Hazard quite a bit this season, and about 3 game weeks ago I took Sterling out for Hazard for those 2 favourable home games against Southampton and Newcastle, and I was having a look at just how many points I've missed out on, and it's a lot, because Hazard's averaged 3.2 points over the last 4 games, and Sterling's averaged 6.7 and Sane's averaged 7.7. So those 2 who you had for such a long time are really cleaning up at the moment, and I think that trend is set to continue.
Yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet for me again. Just like with getting rid of Fraser and seeing him do well. But yeah, I got rid of Sane maybe 2 weeks ago now. I didn't really want to, but Pogba was on fire, and Pogba has returned, so it's not been too bad. And Pogba still looks good going forward. But yeah, I had Sane and Sterling on the wild card from 17, and they were blanked for maybe 4 weeks over Christmas and things, which felt horrible. But I kept Sterling just because I feel like his ceiling is a little bit higher, and he's done well. So I'm happy for him to get that goal yesterday, and deserved a penalty as well, Stonewall penalty. I think everybody would say that he's just pushed down, obvious. I don't know what the referee's seeing. Really, really frustrated with that. And Aguero could have got points from the ensuing penalty. Sterling would have had the same as Sane. Probably would have finished on 3 bonus, I'd say, if he managed 2 in just a goal compared to Sane's goal and assist. So yeah, it's looking good for Sterling. I want to keep him for the foreseeable future, even if they blank in 27 or 31, whatever it's going to be, because obviously they're going to be through to that Carabao final.
You think?
He's well, unless something crazy happens, which I could see happening.
Can you imagine a 1 game Messi loan against Man City? Just run rings around, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you think
he's staying?
Do you think Aguero's got worse since he's dyed his hair?
Let's be honest. Yeah,
he has. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. I felt a bit
looks
sorry.
great on him, but
it looks great on him.
Yeah, it does. I like it on him, but maybe not so good for football skills.
Maybe it's not working out. Well, I was a bit surprised that Jesus got benched by him, because I think he's been in great form recently. I know he's probably trying to work Aguero back into his first team lineup, but I thought he'd show a bit more faith in Jesus, continue to give him a few more games. But
he didn't even get any minutes. Didn't even come off the bench.
No, strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe he's saving him for the big one against Burton. He knows what big game it's going to be.
It's probably another 4 goals, maybe.
So, what do you think about all these little bits coming out from Pep that Mendy's coming back soon? Because I'm tempted. Well, I'm going to get a City mid in for game week 24, and it's likely going to be Anderson. I can afford Sterling or Sane. I mean, Sane's form is better. He's averaging more points per game over the last 4, and he's looking really good. And there isn't many points difference in their overall sort of scores this season. But with Mendy coming back, it sort of made me think that a few times at the beginning of this season, Sane was getting benched, Mendy was playing, and Pep seemed to have a bit of a quandary about playing both of them. I think maybe once or twice he played them both when they were playing 4-3-3, but I don't know. It seems like he's more susceptible to being benched when Mendy's around. How would you read that one with the Frenchman coming back in soon?
Agree with what you said, really. That seems to be the majority of people's thoughts, that Sane will get benched when Mendy comes back. But maybe it won't be all the time. Like, he wasn't fully benched all the time. He did play minutes, but just Mendy will be preferred, I guess. Yeah, because they don't really have anyone else back there. I don't know. What have they been playing? Like a 3-5? I'm not really sure what they've been doing for Mendy's position, really. It's been Delph or Zinchenko or something.
Yeah, Danilo's come in a bit, hasn't he?
Oh, Danilo, that's right, yeah. Completely forgot about him for a second. But yeah, I think Mendy will come back in probably, if not for this Burton game, then for the weekend, or coming up against, is Newcastle, wasn't it? Is that right?
It is Newcastle away, and then they have
yeah.
back-to-back home games against, I think it's Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm not sure if it's in that order, but yes, they have 2 quite big back-to-back home games after that.
So yeah, if he's on the bench for Burton, then that would be a sign that he should be able to start against Newcastle. If he's not on the bench, then maybe it's slightly a bit too risky, but I've been looking for somewhere to go for Alonso for a while, so Mendy seems like the perfect one. But at the same time, Alonso is a cash cow for me to possibly get Aubameyang. Then I do have Trippier as well, so there's places I can go, but Trippier has great fixtures too. Depends who I feel like is more attacking. But Mendy was a little bit less attacking when maybe like the last few games that he played before he got injured, wasn't he? Pep seemed to try and hold him back a little bit. So we're not sure what sort of Mendy we're going to get back, really, are we? Who knows? Obviously, after injuries, he's had a few injuries now. Maybe his attacking days are over. We'll see. Just like Alonso is recently.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one to call. Like in previous title running seasons, the team that wins the league are usually the team that can keep a clean sheet and keep it tight at the back and scrap out a 1-0 or a 2-0 away win when they need to. So that's why I'm sort of leaning towards the fact that I may want to double up on Liverpool because the value's there and get at least one City defender in, because both teams are going to need to ensure they can keep a clean sheet in the run-in, because there are going to be those tough, horrible away games where they need to scrap it out. So I was pleased to see that City wrapped up their second clean sheet in a row in the league in this one. I mean, it was a bit of a given against Wolves, wasn't it, with that Bolly sending off?
Yep.
But they've now got 4 in 4. I mean, again, Rotherham and Burton in the FA Cup and League Cup, but still.
And Huddersfield.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not great teams.
Yeah.
If they can keep a clean sheet against Arsenal or Chelsea, just one of them at home, it would make me think, okay, it looks like they can really put a run together, and yeah, Mendy would be a good choice to come back into the team, really.
Yeah, I agree. People who've kept Laporte and Edison have done well over the last 2.
Yeah.
So slightly jealous, but yeah, never mind.
It's all about getting that timing right, and I think, like you say, Mendy's sort of imminent return is a good time to switch up the defence a little bit, because yeah, we're getting to that stage of the season now where they need to rack up some clean sheets, and if he's going to be part of it, as well as the great attacking output we know he's got, he could be a real gem.
And a lot of other teams would not have kept Alonso, and they probably only have Robertson at that sort of money or range. So a lot of teams would have to maybe take -4s or something like that, downgrade somewhere else to be able to get Mendy in. So we're in a decent position to still have Alonso, so that we can go straight to Mendy if he starts performing.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good shout. It's a good shout. Right. Is there anything else you want to add on the title race before we move swiftly on?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have it. I mean, we usually wrap up, don't we, about the teams each of them face, but I didn't really have anything to say about Huddersfield from a fantasy point of view. And the same with Palace. I think it's just wait until Gaeta comes back, because Speroni looks like he's got a mistake. I put out on Twitter, I don't know if people saw our tweet feed from the weekend, but I put out a tweet saying that I thought Speroni was obviously poor for the third goal, and he was really suspect for the first and second one. It looked like he didn't extend his arm properly or put his arm out and put it back away again. Some Palace fan called me out saying, "Are you accusing him of trying to throw the game?" I was like, I don't know, maybe I am. But it was a funny one. All right, okay. Maybe some people have some thoughts on that as well, but I thought there's maybe a goalkeeper who's watching can say, "Oh yeah, no, it was fine." It looked funny to me. Cool. All right, well, should we go through? Wolves, Leicester, Saturday lunchtime, the big one. 7 goals, Kieran. You love goals as well, don't you?
We all do.
We all love goals.
Yeah, Jota, hat-trick hero.
Exactly.
5.9. 1.5% owned. He dropped 0.6 million since he started at 6.5.
Yep.
since all his injuries and his terrible form that everyone did buy him to start with and then got rid hastily.
Yep.
But yeah, he looks like he's probably nailed on from now on. He's played his way into the team. He's, all the Wolves fans that I see on Twitter seem to just say that he was always going to come into form. He's too good not to in the Prem. And yeah, maybe now is the time to come on or to get onto him. He's going to be an uber differential, and he's got great fixtures too. So why not? I suppose if you've got someone like Richarlison, like I do, he might be the ideal candidate to swap to.
Yeah, Richarlison. Yeah, I agree. I think Richarlison and Anderson. Well, Richarlison looks bang out of form, and Anderson's got some tricky fixtures. And with all this Arnautovic trouble, we'll get onto the West Ham game after this one. But it just looks like there's a recipe for them. Having taking a few games at least to adjust to it. Him not being there. So yeah, Jota could be a great pick for those like me that don't have Jimenez up front, and Wolves have got these great fixtures. I think he's at 5'9". He's not a huge risk really, is he? And he's, like you say, he's shown in the last 5 games. I think he's averaged 8.6 points per game. So that's a pretty decent return. Obviously boosted by those 19 points this past weekend, but he's been getting into those dangerous positions. He often seems to score. Well, at least a couple of his goals recently have come where someone's had it wide on the right. He's cutting from his left, and he's just got ahead of the right back to steerings. I think one against Newcastle and the one against Leicester as well. So yeah, he's looking dangerous. I've been it was really impressed with him at the weekend, and if he can keep what he's doing for that price, even just ticking along with an assist every now and again is fantastic. So that he's giving way more than that at the moment. What's
your opinion on him? A double up with Jimenez? I'm not sure on it. But
too much, I think. Too much. Yeah. I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? About Jimenez and the fact that he's only scored 3 goals this season against teams outside the top 6, which is the same amount he scored against teams in the top 6. Which I kind of want more from my 6.4 million striker than that. I'd want him to at least have been like an 80-20 split, because I'm. Like you, I'm sure you've done it a few times this season. I'm sure a lot of other managers have. You usually bench him for games against teams with tough defences. I think you benched him against Spurs, and I think you benched him against City. But it's a funny one. I'd feel less risk involved with playing Jota just because he's a little bit priced a little bit differently, lower.
I don't know if it was just was Jimenez unlucky? Like Jimenez did have a really good game, like he did, and he got the assist eventually. He got some points. And he had a few chances himself, but on another day, would it be Jota playing that through ball to Jimenez? Was it just happened to be that Jota got a hat trick and Jimenez didn't manage to get on the final balls? With his fixtures, they are really good, but he's not, like you said, punishing lower down teams. And no. Wolves' ceiling is probably not that high for goals. I wouldn't say Wolves are going to be scoring 4 every week, and Jota's not going to be getting hat tricks every week, that's for sure. So a little bit of anomaly, and you can't really. Maybe we shouldn't take this one out of context too much, because Leicester's defence looked poor, really poor. But like we said, good fixtures. I think it's one to maybe be cautious of, possibly. I'm thinking of Jimenez out maybe for a bit of funds, maybe bringing in Jota, but. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just not sure at the moment. It's really hard to call, because Jimenez out seems like a luxury thing. It seems like a strange thing to do. But Jimenez out for, say, Aubameyang, if I can do that, and Jota in, then that would be nice. But maybe just roll this week, because maybe 2 transfers for 27 and blanks and stuff might be good, or 25 at least, for maybe a possible double game week that might be coming.
Yeah. Well, their fixtures are fantastic, because they don't play a team inside the top 6 for the next 5. So I think having some sort of Wolves player in there is a great idea, because they're going to win at least, I'd say, 2 of those games. Probably the home games against West Ham and Newcastle, and probably the away game against Huddersfield for 3 games. So I would expect them to pick up some points. I think that defence is showing, well, it hasn't been great for a while now, has it? And with Doherty out, is a bit of a worry, but like we say, it could be personal reasons. I hope he's back in. But I think at this point in time, maybe Jota is the best pick of the 3.
Yeah, I was looking to bring in Doherty in, so as like a cover for Jimenez, but maybe that's not a thing I should do. But he's probably nailed on, isn't he? Like I think that was just extenuating circumstances, and he should be fine. But that assist from Moutinho to start with probably would have been Doherty's if he was playing. So I'm kind of happy he was benched, and just because I haven't had him, I don't feel worried watching him for once.
That's fair enough. So on the Leicester side of things, like you said, they were pretty god-awful defensively, which bodes well because they're playing Salah next weekend. Didn't Puel look just absolutely distraught? Like a child, like after that last game, like rubbing his face. I mean, that seems like a man who's about to crack under pressure.
He's about to get fired. That's what.
I don't know. There's something wrong there. And all the players after the game, I don't know if you noticed when they were coming off the pitch, they all sort of just like having little individual arguments with each other. Like I think Chilwell was arguing with Gray, and then he was getting really cross talking to Vardy. I just thought it doesn't look like a happy camp at the moment, which is strange considering they had enough fight to get back into the game a couple of times and were at 3-3, sort of like in about the 90th minute. So it was a strange game.
Yeah, when they go and beat teams that are higher than them, and then they go and lose games like this, and they're two down within like the first 20 minutes or something, wasn't it? Hard to judge. We've all been talking about Ricardo recently, but he gets a -1 this week. Pereira, and concedes for a yellow card, -1. That's not great, but he's got great fixtures after that. But at the same time, we want to be looking for clean sheets with a defender. But he did start our position again, so hard to say bring him in this week. That's for sure. Or over the next 2 or 3. I think he's got really bad fixtures.
Well, they do. They could be in trouble. They could be in trouble.
Yeah. Maybe they could slip towards the relegation battle if they lose the next 3.
And I think it depends on a lot of other teams winning around them, but they've had 1 win in their last 5, and that was that scrappy old game on New Year's Day. I think it was up at Everton. But they play Liverpool, United, and Tottenham in the next 3, which is pretty damn awful. So if they've got this funky attitude going into those games, I can't see. We said this before Christmas, didn't we? Those back-to-back Chelsea away and Man City at home games. But the squad seems in a worse state now. So and the fans just calling for his head. So be surprised if he makes it to that Crystal Palace game.
Yeah, Maddison was benched again, which is kind of a surprise because we've talked about they need creativity, and Maddison is the only one that seems to do it, and he's getting benched. So there's probably another reason for Paul to go, because he's just benching his most creative players. So it's strange. Yeah,
he did get a tasty assist for the Wes Morgan goal. That was a nice free kick he put in.
Yeah, but that seems to be all he offers nowadays, just assist from a free kick, which is not enough, is it?
No. All right, Bournemouth, West Ham. Yeah.
Good defensive display from Bournemouth. Wasn't
it was.
After West Ham beat Arsenal the week before, and then they lose to Bournemouth 2-0. It's just so weird.
Up and down.
Begovic benched for the first time, or dropped this season. Boric, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Boric.
He's 4.0, right? So with a clean sheet and 2-0, he probably should continue, right? I
would have thought so.
Maybe he won't keep his place for maybe all season, but for the time being, a 4.0 starter, along with Button, say, and Guaita when he's back. There's some cheap keepers going at the moment.
There are, but none of it. Maybe. Just feel like I want a good cheap keeper option, and I keep just flip flapping around trying to get them. And every time I get one, they get injured or they break. So and they get dropped. So I don't know. So I've had Hennessy, Button, Gaita, McCarthy in like the past 6 or 7 game weeks. I'm fed up of changing my goalkeeper because it is so boring. So I'd like Borat, but their defense is as a 4.0, but their defense is just please don't touch it ever. And their fixtures are pretty savage too.
Yeah.
One thing I did like though, Kieran, was Wilson's Gonzalo.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
It was a good goal. Was it a half volley from outside the box? I think it was a half volley or a volley. Yep. Anyway, top corner, postage stamp, brilliant. And it was good because I've held on to him for quite a while. He's been in my team one of the longest now. I think he's been in there since game week 4. And he had 5 touches in the box in this game. He scored, obviously, the goal. He got the max bonus, so I was really pleased about that. But he's dropped 0.5 in the last 5 or 6 game weeks, which is mad considering he's actually got, in his last 2 starts, he's got 2 goals. So his form is there. They've got some tricky games coming up, have Bournemouth. They're playing Chelsea at home next, which maybe isn't such a tricky game after Sarri's outburst, so we'll see about that one a bit later. But yeah, they got Cardiff away, and Liverpool away, Arsenal away, sort of in the next 5, so a little bit tricky. But I'm going to hold on to Wilson for a bit longer. If he's shaken off this hamstring injury, I think he was taken off a bit early, wasn't he? Preserve him, put him in some bubble wrap for me, and I'm going to hold on to him.
It doesn't look like he's off to Chelsea anytime soon.
No.
And he's come back into the squad, and they're instantly better going forward, aren't they? So, main man. I'm kind of jealous of not owning him again. He's always been a bit of thorn in my side this season when I've not owned him. He's done well. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting him back in, or at least some sort of Bournemouth cover, because I'm thinking about Brooks as well at 5.1/2.
Yeah,
he had really good assist again. Fraser was slightly unlucky for was it the first goal or second? I can't remember. Nearly got another assist.
Yep.
But yeah, Wilson's on my radar again as a possible Jimenez change. Even an Arnautovic, because his China move seems to be off now. After he waved goodbye to the fans, it's going to be slightly awkward. But Carroll missed an absolute sitter in that game. You could not miss it if you're like a 5-year-old. But yeah, so Carroll's terrible, and they're going to need Arnie to come straight back in, aren't they? So
where have you heard about this transfer being off? Is this happening today?
It seems to have broken all over Twitter, like just people reporting it, and not just people on Twitter, but like journalists and stuff. And but yeah, I think Guangzhou or whatever it is pulled out, so that there was something like 65 million or something they pulled out of. So
interesting.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay it.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got to come back in, right? He's too good not to play. Hopefully he can give it his all.
He does seem like the sort of player that can sulk a little bit. He looked a bit sulky again in the Arsenal game, throwing his hands up every so often. I thought that it would take a little while, and West Ham might announce something like, "Are we publicly?" or they maybe leak it to some journalists that we're not accepting the bid, and making the Chinese club think, "Oh, okay, well we've got to pay a bit more for it." So there may still be things to run on this. I wouldn't be surprised if he still leaves for the end of the window, just because he was so adamant about it.
Yeah,
and they're missing him, aren't they? Because I had a look at the players around him. So I obviously kept Anderson. He only had one blocked shot during the game, so it's pretty poor. His heat map was quite sporadic, really. He didn't seem to get involved. And Nasri playing that number 10 role as well. He didn't seem to influence the game very much. He only had a shot off target. So I think, and against the Bournemouth team, who we've said have been really struggling recently, that was their first win in 5, and they conceded a ton of goals. So to not score against them was a real surprise, and I think it's probably down to Arnie missing out, really, and just the influence he brings over the squad.
You're definitely thinking of getting rid of him, yeah.
Anderson, he's 100% going, because I spoke about it on the show last week that I nearly got rid of Anderson for another -4 for Sterling or Sane, and I'm really hit adverse usually, so to take him -8 seemed crazy, but if I'd actually done it, it would have worked out quite well. I would have gained about 6 points, so if I'd done it. But anyway, I'll do it this week, and it'd be good to have some Man City coverage again, because Hazard's been letting me down big time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, cool. All right, should we move on to the Man United against Brighton game? Another 3 p.m. kickoff for Manchester United. It's very rare indeed. And that's 7 wins on the bounce now for Ole, and the first time Rashford has scored 4 goals in consecutive Premier League games. So yeah, really great for him, and great for us, and great for lots of other people, because he scored 8 points, didn't he?
Yeah, must say he's proven me wrong a little bit, which I'm happy about, obviously, as a United fan. And I've always been quite averse to Rashford. I think he's quite a poor of a player usually, but I just say Kieran is always hating on Rashford for years now. Yeah. But Ollie's working his magic on him, I suppose, filling him with confidence, and that was a great goal, wasn't it? That was all him. And yeah, like him going forward, he's completely template now. He's owned by effective ownership is about over 50% now, or 57% actually, I think it was.
Wow.
So everybody has him now. Overall ownership is something like 36 or something, but that's including all dead teams and stuff. But effective ownership is way even over Salah's now. So
that is incredible, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, and he's basically the only firing forward other than Lacazette, who got that goal, and Firmino slightly.
And the main man, Wilson.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 4 compared to 2 games scored for Rashford. But yeah, and Pogba as well, continuing to be great, isn't he? Had about 7 shots, I think he did.
He did, yeah.
I think I've got written down here. Yeah, 7 shots. I think 3 on target, 3 blocked, and 1 off target. Wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. So he was unlucky not to get more points, to be honest. Clinical penalty. Looks good. Great fixtures.
He won the penalty too. And like you say, United are on this fantastic run at the moment. And the fixtures are looking really good going forward. I think it was a disappointment in the defensive side for a lot of players, because with that Trent news last week, if players didn't get Dean, they seemed to go for Shaw. And then obviously he felt sick in the warm-up, so he didn't even make the bench. So that was a bit gutting, but I still not sold on United's defensive record. Like they just got a habit in some games of just conceding that sloppy goal. I think lucky not to concede against Spurs.
I don't think that was a sloppy goal. He couldn't do anything about that. Like, they got through pretty well worked, and great finish. Like, up in the corner, De Gea had no chance. So just freak goal, I'd say. Like, they looked good other than that. That Brighton didn't have really many other chances. So I still think United's defence is worth investing in now. I'm definitely tempted in Lindelof. I don't think Shaw is worth 0.2 more, because he's not very attacking, to be honest.
He gets a ton of yellows as well.
And he likes yellows, exactly. So Lindelof was pinging in a few balls through, kind of Luiz-esque in that game as well. So if he can continue to do that, and he's a threat from set pieces too.
Yep.
So I think Lindelof is definitely better value than Shaw.
Yeah, that's
just
fair
my
enough.
take.
Yeah, well, I think if they are going to get a clean sheet, then it's going to have to be against Burnley next weekend. Home game against Burnley.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who score I think they're like the 4th lowest scoring team in the league. So yeah, they've got to do something there, haven't they? Okay. Newcastle against Cardiff, or do you want to add anything else about United?
Nothing about United, but Duncan Duffy again. We mentioned it slightly last time about their sort of differential ability coming up, but they're great fixtures. They got Fulham away next, Watford at home, and then Burnley at home in the next 3. You couldn't ask for 3 better fixtures, really.
No.
And yeah, Duncan Duffy get forward on set pieces. Clean sheets look like they could be there for that. So if you want to go down from Alonso / Trent maybe, or Digne, who's maybe getting a bit annoying now, then Duncan Duffy could be decent differentials. Low owned. And they're always a solid defence. So yeah, not like I said last week, they've not really conceded 2 or more in more than 2 games now this season. So yeah, they're always pretty solid, and you can rely on them to at least get maybe 2 clean sheets in the next 3, I'd say. Yeah, just something to think about.
No, that's good. I just checked why you did really well to keep talking there, because I was just having a look at something for all fans of Button in goal that Australia beat.
Got through, didn't they?
I could have just asked you. Great. Okay.
Sorry.
Australia beat Uzbekistan penalty shootout today in the quarter-final. So it means at least another game for Matt Ryan. So I'd hope the Button's secure in this Fulham away game, and maybe the Watford at home game. So yeah, okay. Well, that's great news.
Yep.
I love that. We're just across it, aren't we, Kieran? We just know all about the Asian Cup. How's Son doing, Kieran?
I think they got through as well, so yeah, he's
Kieran,
not back
all
for
over
a
it.
little bit again.
Oh my! Did he score?
Not sure about that.
Okay, well, we'll check in a bit later with South Korea and see how they're doing, and let you know. Cool. All right. Where were we? We were at Newcastle. Yeah, we were. Cool. All right, you're all over it. Tell me something interesting about Shah, Kieran.
Good performance, but nothing to say FPL wise. I wouldn't say. 2 goals out of the blue, really, and I wouldn't really say he's an option, to be honest. Like he's definitely not been nailed on, so
No.
maybe he will be from now on after that performance. But Cardiff looked poor, didn't they?
They did.
To lose 3-0 to Newcastle is not good, is it?
No.
When Newcastle really don't score that often. Arsenal defenders against Cardiff next week are going to look pretty good. I think Kolasinac is going to be in for some points there, you'd think. And the same as attackers versus Cardiff next week.
Yeah.
Other than Shah as a possible move, I wouldn't say there's any other FPL assets to talk about here, honestly.
Okay, I'll talk about a few. I just want to bring up some stats. I just want to say hi to all the 8,000 people that have brought Shah in since Saturday. Just wonder what they're up to right now. Just having a good old...
Good luck to you.
Good luck with that. Because, first 2 Premier League goals and then to... get transferred in. That's crazy. I still think Rondon's not a bad pick, because I think he's quite key to Newcastle. He got that assist at the weekend, and I think he's not a bad player to have in your team ticking along. If you're playing a just 3-4-3, he can be. Well, I think Newcastle as a team are, and inconsistent. Cardiff are being consistent with no goals scored, so that's 3 games on the bounce they haven't scored. Like you say, they're going to be a tough one up against Arsenal at the weekend. I was having a look at the stats after they signed Nias, who played on Saturday. And last season at Everton, he had an attacking return every 97 minutes he was on the pitch, right? So I thought that was a pretty decent return at Everton. So I thought if he does half of that, it would be quite decent for Cardiff. So I looked at Patterson's attacking output to see how frequently he's been getting involved in goals. And he's got an attacking return every 320 minutes this season. So that's nearly like it's over 2 and something games.
Yeah.
So it's pretty damn poor. So that's why they haven't scored any goals in the last 3. So let's see. I quite like Nias. I think we both owned him, didn't we, last season? For a little bit.
Yeah, it's a shame he's 5-0.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
If he was 4.5, then fantastic. But 5-0 for Nias seems too much, doesn't it? When you can get someone like Ings closer to like 5.9-ish or whatever it is. Not sure.
That is the sound effect indeed. All right, well, should we move swiftly on?
Yeah.
Cool. Southampton against Everton. Now, do you want to talk about Dean's finish? Because it was quality, wasn't it?
Yeah,
25-yarder.
Good finish, but I think he was slightly unlucky, wasn't he? Just trying to kick the ball away, and then that happens. But getting frustrating. You can never rely on Everton to keep a clean sheet, and that is what I often talk about. Is like clean sheets need to be first for the defender.
Yep.
And Everton look always so poor at the back. Pickford's full of mistakes, as I said before, and Dini's just like a yo-yo. Like 17 points one week and -1 the next, or whatever. Like he got 12 last week, and just his points are just crazy up and down. I think he's averaged something like 8 points or 7 points per game over these last 6 or something. But which counts as like a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But they're not getting the clean sheets. It's just because of him doing well going forward. I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated with him, and he's got 2 more all right fixtures, and then after that they turn a bit. They go a little. He's benchable because he's got kind of like intermittent fixtures where there's 1 bad, 1 good, 1 bad, 1 good sort of thing. So
is he benchable though? Isn't he the sort of player that can, like you say, just surprise you with like a 12-point or a 17-point game week?
Well, yeah, he is obviously, but you can't see it when it's clean sheets. Like when he's playing Arsenal or whatever it is coming up, then it's scary.
Their fixtures are Huddersfield away, Wolves at home, and Watford away. So Man City.
So they got City and Liverpool. That's it. Who
would you recommend in that price bracket then? Because I think we had a question, didn't we, earlier from FPL Dare, who asked us, who do we like in the sort of 5 to 5.5 million price bracket for a defender?
Well, they've kind of been a little bit different recently because everyone was looking at Dino, weren't they? And Pereira as well from 27.
Yep.
But Doherty is obviously one, but he got benched, so I guess he's still an option. Lindelof, I think, is still a good option at 4.8. United's defence is going to get better, and then I think probably the best at the moment is probably Kolasinac.
Yep.
At 4.9, and he's still really low owned. think it was something like 4% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I had it down here, but I can't find it. Yeah, so I still think he's good. And even Koscielny, who got that goal, he got 15 points at the weekend. Obviously, he's not going to score many goals, but he's come in and made Arsenal's defence way, way stronger.
Yeah, he has.
And I think, Kolasinac loves getting forward, likes bonus. They got Cardiff next. He seems like the best option to me. Around that price bracket anyway. Obviously, Alexander-Arnold would be one, but he's injured. So he seems to be the best option to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. If all the players you mentioned were fit, i.e. including Trent would be my far and away pick.
Yeah, definitely.
But if we hear sort of before the next game week that Trent's going to be out for another 2 or 3 weeks, I would definitely suggest Kolasinac. So Arsenal don't pick up a ton of clean sheets. I think that was like a second in their last 7 or something like that. It wasn't much, but with Kolasinac, he's got the more capability, let's say, of getting forward and scoring. He's always in the last third, getting in the box, and I think in the last 2 game weeks he's had, like when I've been watching the Arsenal game, he's been breaking into the box on the edge of the 6-yard box, and I've just been thinking, shoot. And he's cut it back for Aubameyang and Lacazette twice. I've recorded and thinking, why? Because if I watched him actually shoot, I'd say, okay, I didn't want you in my team. But the cutbacks have made me question it a little bit. But the fact he's getting in those positions is great.
It's coincided with him not getting the returns going forward because of how unclinical Aubameyang has been lately.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's given the chances, and Aubameyang could have had hauls, and Kolasinac could have had hauls, because they've both just kind of not got them in, I suppose, not scored, which is just unfortunate. But he's been unlucky, and Aubameyang's been slightly unlucky too.
Yeah.
So lots of points there to be got, and Cardiff can't score, so I think there's a clean sheet there for sure. And then their fixtures after who is it? City they've got.
They've got City away, and they play Huddersfield away, and then they've got Southampton and Bournemouth back to back at home. So
great.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better run of 3 fixtures there, really. And I think that, especially the Cardiff game, you'd expect a clean sheet. Although Arsenal haven't got many, and I'd expect a clean sheet in that away game against Huddersfield. And then Southampton and Bournemouth are the sort of games he's going to run wild and want to be getting in at the end of things, because Emery's going to want to attack. And also, I think what encourages that is the fact that they've closed up this gap to the top 4 now. Because they're only 3 points behind Chelsea, aren't they? So that like United, Emery and Ole are going to just be going all out for these easier fixtures at home just to get the job done. And if that means Kolasinac playing wide in a 3-5-2 or just playing a more advanced role, if they're playing 4, they played the diamond, didn't they, at the weekend, 4-4-2, then he's going to get chances. So I was impressed with him.
So that's our call.
Yeah, that is our call.
Yeah,
we were talking about Southampton Everton, weren't we?
We were.
It's crazy sidetracked. I was going to ask you about Richarlison. Because he had 23 touches, which was nearly less than half of the next lowest player, who was Bernard. So he had 40 odd, and Richarlison was way down on 20. I did a double take when I looked at his touch.
He got hooked off as well.
He did,
at 60 odd minutes. So
that's poor, really poor.
It's not looking good for him. History of slumping, hasn't he? After mid-season, and he's just looking like he's going downhill again. But it's the hope of that Huddersfield fixture that makes me want to keep him. But is he even going to start? I don't know. Getting hooked off of being poor performance, it's a worry for sure. And I think he has to go after Huddersfield. But it's just the question of, do I keep him? I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think if he doesn't perform in the Huddersfield game, I'd be really, really tempted to get rid of him, because it's one of those things that just the quicker you act on it. Because otherwise he's going to be in your team for weeks and weeks. Yeah, people are getting rid of him, and people may be moving on to another player who's going to be hitting form. Like
Jota.
Exactly, like Jota, and he's going to be getting points. I think the 4 blanks in a row, fair enough. Players in the 6 to 7 million bracket can go 4 games in a row. And we talked last week, he's having these shots. But in the Southampton game, even that dovetailed. He had something, I don't think he had a shot, and he only had 1 penalty area touch. So
it's been really the fixtures as well. He's had the fixtures to do so well.
He has.
It's just so frustrating, and just like Anderson, I suppose, starting to blank all the time. I think this was the template come game week 17 with Richarlison and Anderson doing really well, and now they're just falling off just off the edge of a cliff, basically.
They are.
Yeah.
And it's a bit difficult because there isn't really any other players in that price bracket where I'd be really confident. The only players who I'd be confident in having are almost premium assets, and Pogba and Son when he gets back. I mean, that's going to be a few weeks down the line.
I mean, my idea would be to downgrade to Brooks and then possibly a Jimenez upgrade to someone like Aubameyang because I've got money in the bank.
From that Kane move.
Yeah, from Kane. But I also need to look at Kamara because he's... let's see what he does next game, but down the line, Kamara's an issue, and Richarlison is not performing, so he's a cash cow at the moment.
Well, another player who could maybe come into your thoughts as a downgradable from Richarlison is Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, on the Southampton side, because he's played in I think he's last 4, and he's now got 2 in 2, and 3 shots in the game, 1 big chance, 3 bonus, and he picked up 2 bonus in the last game. So I think he's the sort of player that obviously works in midfield, and similar to when Hazard picks up bonus, he's quite well. He's the sort of player that just picks it up for playing his style of play, if that makes sense.
Yep. And
he's on most dead balls, so he's creating chances from those as well. I think he's not a bad option, you know.
Yeah, 5.0, and I've got his own buy somewhere.
Yeah, I'd say
0.3%.
That is good, isn't it? And what I'd say, it's a strange one because he didn't really get in the side under Hughes. I know he had a few injuries, but he was one of England's best under 21 players at one of the tournaments a few years ago. And it's good that he's stepping it up in the Premier League in the last couple, and Hasenhüttl seems to like him. I'd probably recommend him over Brooks purely because of their fixtures. I mean, they've got Palace, Cardiff and Fulham all coming to St Mary's in the next 5 game weeks.
Yeah, he's like a cheap cut price Maddison, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, set pieces, creative, and starting to get some goals, and looks actually nailed on compared to Maddison at the moment.
Yeah, I mean his goal in this game was obviously from outside the box, and he's not going to score those every game. But I think the fact that he's playing these teams in and around Southampton who they're going to be scrapping to beat, he's going to be involved in their attacking play, and I think he'd be a better pick than Brooks, if I'm honest.
Yeah, as long as he keeps his place, he's definitely benchable as well. So yeah, that's someone you can bring in if you really want to, sort of thing. So yeah, like him.
Cool. All right. Watford Burnley. I've got very, very little written down about this one. Do you want to just big up your main man Ben?
Yeah, all I've got written down is Foster points finally. Yeah, like I said earlier, saves. He's been doing this a lot. He's had 6 saves in the last 2, so he's finishing on 4 points each time without clean sheets, which has been great. So he's been ticking along on that sort of front, which is what you want from a 4.5 keeper.
Yeah.
And when you get a clean sheet, they usually get a couple bonus, a couple saves as well. So 8 points from Foster was a nice surprise, which was pretty much my differential points this week, because I would have finished on the same as you if it wasn't for Foster. So that felt great, and yeah, hopefully he continues. He's got okay fixtures coming up, so why not? Hopefully.
Yeah, they're not bad. Well, I think on the opposite end was Heaton again proved why he's made such a difference to Burnley since he come back in, because that's their second clean sheet in 4, and every time they've got a clean sheet, he's made saves and he's got bonus. So I think he scored 8 games. He scored 8 points against Watford, and he scored 9 in the previous home clean sheet. But I can't remember who that was. Maybe you'll just tell me. It was 4 games ago. My brain doesn't work that far back.
Sorry.
But no, but it's a shame he's 5 million really, because if I had the cash to upgrade to a 5 million goalkeeper, I'd like to do it. But I'm trying to keep to my 4 point something goalkeepers this season really, because I think there's better value in defence. Cool. All right.
Kiko as well. Kiko Femenia, actually.
Yeah.
Clean sheet, 3 bonus, was way ahead of anyone else on BPS. So maybe he's someone to look at in that sort of differential 4.5 million sort of price bracket. It seems to be nailed on at the moment. So yeah, if you want to go somewhere else, he seems okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think he'd be a player people that maybe playing a wild card or a free hit would look at to balance a team out. I don't think he's an essential transfer, but it's only the 3rd clean sheet in 10, but definitely man for in terms of his price point, and
he gets forward as well.
You had him last season for a bit, didn't you, as well, and got a few points off him.
No, I did not get any points off. He got he was doing so well, and then he got injured, and then he maybe got like a red card, and so yeah, I had to spend like -8 to get him out or something. I think it was in the end. It was an absolute disaster.
good times. Yep. Cool. All right. Arsenal Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to start off by talking about Sarri because we know from previous experience of Mourinho criticising the players in public, it doesn't go very well. So for him to come out after the game and say in Italian rather than English that it's difficult to motivate this group, how would that make you feel as a player? Surely pretty damn bad, I would have thought.
Well, yeah. Did you hear Hazard's comments as well today?
Oh no, I've not.
Oh, he said something about like he was frustrating to Conte, he was frustrating to Mourinho, and he's frustrating to Sarri. And he said he'll be a frustrating player to the next manager too. So I mean that's a strange comment to come out with, like, and that was the quote. Like he is himself calling himself frustrating.
How unusual.
And then Sarri obviously saying, it's hard to motivate people, and then that coming out too. Yeah, it's a strange vibe in that camp at the moment, and yeah, Alonso is looking like I want to get rid of him, but Higuain can't come in soon enough for them, can he? Really? No. They need to announce it ASAP because Morata's been confirmed to Real Madrid now.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
which is strange.
Well,
at least I saw it on Twitter. It looked like it was a Sky Sports News that said it. So
okay.
Yeah, so they need to bring someone in unless Giroud's going to be the man for the next few, which is good for Hazard at least. But yeah, Hazard can't really play that role.
Can't have my head in
really.
Yeah, no, you're right. He can't. I feel like I've had my head in the sand today. How much you know about the football neck? Right. Yeah. Big news. I think it's an interesting what's going on with Sarri because this is the first game in quite a few weeks now where they haven't had an FA Cup, League Cup, or Europa League game to contend with in the build-up to a game. So they had like a full week free to work on tactics and how to beat Arsenal, and that was the performance they put in. Like the first 15-20 minutes, they looked so sloppy, didn't they?
Yeah, Arsenal started so quickly.
They did. They just couldn't live. I remember maybe in the 3rd or 4th minute, David Luiz tried like a reverse no-look pass out of defence. Do you remember that? And gave it to Ramsey. And then there was another time where Azpilicueta, who's usually so reliable, was just dawdling on the ball and Aubameyang nicked it off him. They just didn't look like they were awake. And it's funny because we've been talking for weeks about how Alonso's not returning, but he was getting down the left so much, and every time he's looking up for someone in the middle, it's just little Willian and Hazard in there.
He just wouldn't even cross it, would he?
Wouldn't even cross it.
Because there was no point.
He was playing it back to Jorginho, who was just playing another sideways pass. So
yeah.
I think there's something up at Chelsea at the moment. I did say on a couple show last week that I thought Higuain might sort of reinvigorate everyone. But I mean, they've had Giroud and Morata at different times this season play that number 9 role. So it's only really recently that Sarri's totally given up on them. So I don't really know what playing a number 9 again is going to do for the squad. It's fascinating.
It's got to help, hasn't it? He's got to do something. I guess like Higuain did 36 goals in Serie A or something, beat the record while he was at Sarri with Napoli.
Yeah, that's right.
He beat the goals in one season in Serie A, which was held for like years and years or something. So I guess he's hoping something like that happens when he comes to Chelsea. But at the same time, he started doing the false 9 thing when Higuain left, and he made Mertens into a great player at false 9. But he just hasn't seemed to be able to do it with Hazard because he's frustrating as he has now admitted himself. He just, I don't know, maybe is slightly lazy, gets frustrated with other players, doesn't pass them, sort of thing. Alonso was getting in the box more than Hazard, it seemed like. He was trying to get in there for someone to cross it to. And just a weird setup at the moment. Luiz seems still like good value because he nearly had that ball through to Pedro again, which is really, really nice. Hazard, I've been looking at bringing him back in, possibly for Higuain, or as soon as Higuain comes, I mean. But need to see something first, I suppose. And Alonso is just waiting to be transferred out, really. But Higuain coming, hopefully for the next game. For who do they have next? I can't.
Well, they actually have Spurs in the reverse leg of the League Cup on Thursday.
Oh, well, probably not for that. But I mean the Premiership game after that.
They have
if Alonso
Bournemouth away, really good fixture.
Okay, so if Higuain's in for that, Alonso's probably going to stay because he can, cross some balls.
can.
He might only be there to get some headers. It will help Alonso a lot.
I
Like,
agree.
Alonso's downfall in his points and stuff has come when he's not been able to get any crosses in, when Hazard's been playing up the top.
Totally agree. And it's a shame, really, that we saw Alonso getting in the box and trying to get on the end of some headers, that we haven't seen Alonso play centre forward. Because if Sarri wants a big target man, Alonso's the beanpole type guy is going to just go stand up in the middle and try and win some headers. So
Yeah,
maybe we can have
the sixth time he's hit the post as well this
good,
season.
isn't it? That's good. He just needs him to hit the post and go in next time.
Exactly.
Cool, right, we've ribbited on about Chelsea there, but poor Arsenal fans are saying, hey, we won the game, damn it. So, do you want to big them up? I was going to talk about Lacazette, but yeah, Phil, you go first with a...
Obviously,
nice round-up.
Kolasinac looked good, as we mentioned. Aubameyang missed a sitter again and then had an overhead kick, which was so close. So he had another 2 chances where he should have probably scored.
Yep.
So he could have had another haul. Just unclinical compared to what he had been before. He'd scored from like 8 out of 8 shots before, and now he's missed like quite a few recently in his last 3, I think it is. But he's getting in those positions. And I still think he's probably a better option than Lacazette, even though Lacazette scored.
Agree.
Lacazette comes off. Lacazette can be benched. Aubameyang plays 90 every week, sort of thing. But you're not really confident in ever captaining Aubameyang, so maybe against Cardiff you would be, but Salah's still there. Against Leicester, who conceded 4. So, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I reminded myself of a stat I wrote down earlier. I got it wrong that it was actually 1 clean sheet and 7 for Arsenal for Kolasinac, so it's not that great, but I think those fixtures are good. Lacazette, like you say, you bang on really with it in terms of his minutes, because he's only played 90 minutes once in the last 10. He's in a little bit of form that he's got 2 goals in the last 3, and I thought it was interesting to know that 8 of his 8 league goals he's got this season, 6 of them have actually come at home. So I wouldn't be surprised really to see Emery play the same formation and lineup in each of these 3 favourable home games: Cardiff, Southampton and Bournemouth in the next 5. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Lacazette and Aubameyang end up scoring similar in those 3 home games, but Aubameyang is definitely the more nailed-on choice, like you say. I think he's played every minute of their last 5 games and scored 5 goals and 3 assists in that time, so I think he's definitely the number 1 pick up front. But Lacazette, when he's playing at home, he's showing he can do the business. Yeah,
I think it's Aubameyang, Lacazette, or Kolasinac in that team. There's no other assets you can think about, really.
Yeah, no,
unfortunately,
that's fair enough.
Maybe Koscielny if he continues to not be injured.
Yeah, I was listening to some interesting analysis on I think it was like the 5 Live show from last night, and they said that Koscielny can't jump anymore. And that's why he needs to be replaced for Arsenal since he's had his knee injury, because apparently that's what Sarri was trying to target, and that's what Hasenhüttl targeted in the Southampton game. Yeah, so I know I wanted to go back and watch, because he didn't get the header, did he, in the game against Chelsea? It came off his shoulder. So I made a note. So if anyone else out there has noticed that Koscielny can't jump, so maybe it's time for big Nias at the weekend.
White men can't jump.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Last game of which we haven't reviewed yet was the 4 p.m. Super Sunday kickoff between Fulham and Spurs. A little bit uneventful, I thought, in the first half. I thought Spurs played quite badly, and Fulham probably should have got more than the 1 goal. A bit unlucky because they had that nice play leading up to the Mitrovic goal, which was ruled out for offside. Obviously, Llorente had that horror show with the own goal. What did you think of the game from an FPL point of view?
Pretty lacking, I suppose. Winks for the goal, and obviously Ali getting a goal, which was a nice differential for anyone that bought him in with the Kane money. But he didn't do anything else, and now he's got a hamstring injury, and you're obviously going to have to take him out. He's probably out for at least 4 weeks. You'd think. But yeah, I think Barbel actually looked quite good. He had at least 3 chances where he got through and could have scored, or probably should have scored. But he got taken off about 55 minutes, which I think is pretty early. But maybe just because he's quite old, he's only just got to the club, probably been travelling and whatever
knackered
else. But yeah, Trippier, I think he was unlucky not to get a clean sheet here, because I've still got him, obviously, with 2 points. Apart from that own goal, Lloris did well for the Barble chances. Probably should have been a clean sheet, so a bit unfortunate. Who was going to say? Llorente started. Everyone was thinking about him. Would Llorente start? Because Mora was possibly still injured. They needed someone up there. But other than that sort of own goal, he didn't do much at all. Flat to deceive, didn't he? I saw today someone's been on his Wikipedia page and put in underneath his goals scored it was 1 for Fulham for his current club, Fulham, which is a bit of banter, but Llorente going forward, not great.
I was going to say though, he has to be the pick now for Spurs in fantasy point of view, because if Ali's out, I don't think
it's any of them.
Wow. So we said at the top of the show, didn't we? We were going to talk about their assets. So they've got such good fixtures. Llorente was the main man. It was obviously painful that he got the own goal, but he had 5 shots. He obviously fluffed the big chance, and he had 8 touches in the Fulham box. I just feel like if they are going to get something in these, obviously he didn't do it against Fulham, but he's just warming up. He scored 14 goals for
Fulham,
Swansea.
the worst defence in all the league. They looked like it was going to be a clean sheet for a while.
Yeah.
If you can't do it against Fulham, then
So do you envisage Spurs are going to struggle over these next couple of games, because the fixtures are great?
If Ali's out as well, it's going to be like a front three of Nduku, Llorente, and Eriksen, or
probably Eriksen. Yeah,
that's not scary.
No, and I didn't think Eriksen had that good a game, really. I thought he was quite sloppy. Obviously, he got the assist for the goal, but I thought generally his play he didn't seem to be being as direct. He wasn't getting forward. I think he was dropping a bit deeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got 4 really favourable home fixtures in the next 6. And they're the only team that has 4 fixtures in the next 6. So it's a shame not to be able to get on board with them. But are you a bit worried about Trippier there on the flip side of that? Because if they're not going forward, they're going to be focusing more on defence, and maybe other teams coming onto them a bit more?
Not so much. I thought they were fairly solid, and they were just a bit unlucky. And their fixtures are good enough that he can get clean sheets, and he's a bit of differential. So, yeah, I like him for the time being. And he was maybe slightly unlucky not to get a few assists. So, yeah.
So you'd recommend a Spurs defender rather than an attacker for this run, then?
Maybe not recommend, but yeah, I think it's better than attacker. Yeah, because I think obviously people are looking at maybe Lamela, but he didn't really do much at all either, and he got taken off. So don't think he's an option really either.
No,
failed his auditions.
He did. I always associate Lamela with a yellow card as well. I always think he's got a bit of a dirty streak, in him, and he can always pick up a yellow, so that sort of puts me off him. Because there's not really many midfielders like that in the league that usually pick up a yellow when they play. So no, to be honest, like you, I think there's more chance of them getting these clean sheets in these next 4 home games. But I still wouldn't be, if I had bought Llorente for that one, I wouldn't be put off even after that dreadful performance. I think
you wouldn't get rid of him.
No, he's cheap. He's the same price as Rondon. I think you'd rather have a 5.6 million striker, or Rondon maybe 1.1 more, but I'd rather have a 5.6 million starting striker in a Spurs team than a Newcastle team, especially for these fixtures. So, keep faith. And he got
rid of the beard. He shaved.
He did, yeah. That's what happened.
His power of football waned.
It's ridiculous. Right, so that was all the league fixtures. Should we do just a brief preview? Just look ahead to GW24 and just see how our teams are looking.
Yep, nothing's changed for me yet. I'm possibly thinking about -4 to bring in Aubameyang. Maybe Richarlison out, maybe Jimenez out, maybe Alonso, but not sure on that one.
So many maybes.
It's it's 9 days time. I need to see other fixtures and need to see who's going to be possibly in the final for the cup and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah.
For blank possible planning. But yeah, captains on Salah, vice on Pogba, Wan-Bissaka first bench. That's how it is at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think it's bang right. I think Salah's going to run wild against Leicester. I should also say, while we're doing this preview, that we had a question from FPL DB, and a few others have mentioned it as well, that what do we think about the blank and double game weeks coming up? We did talk about this earlier and whether we were going to feature it in tonight's show, but we think until we actually have some more concrete fixtures and things confirmed, that we're just going to spend weeks speculating about how to transfer and prepare our team. So when
we'll do a single video.
Yeah, we'll probably do a single video after this weekend when the more FA Cup games and more blanks and double game weeks become clear, and we'll try and help you guys out with planning that one. But yeah, in terms of the next game week, I'm hoping that 9 days is long enough for Alexander-Arnold to get back on the training field and give me something. I'm probably just going to make one transfer, which will be Anderson to Sterling. And I'm just a bit surprised that Wilson's orange flag still hasn't gone because he played at the weekend. I don't know if I've missed something with Howe saying he needs to be rested still, but that's a bit of an unusual one. But I was really close last night because Sane was going up again, and I was looking at Sane's form and how well he's been playing, his price compared to Sterling, and I was so close to bringing him in. And I think what I might do over the next couple of game weeks, just because I like him so much, is play either a 4-5-1, probably a 4-5-1, downgrade Alonso to Mendy, got a bit of cash there, downgrade Wilson to a 4-point something, so I'd have basically 2 4-point somethings, and then upgrade Højbjerg and Anderson to Sane and Sterling, because I've got quite a lot of cash in the bank. So I think I could I could do that because I've got such a cheap goalkeeper set and Doherty and Arnold. So I think
cut yourself quite thin though.
That's the thing. I don't really like doing that usually, because it then leaves you in. If something bad happens, you've usually got to take a 4-point hit to upgrade and get yourself out of it. So I'm a little bit tentative about doing it, and I'm gonna give myself some time to think about it. And when we do our next preview show, which will probably be Sunday evening, do you think we'll do that then?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Sunday evening we'll have more thoughts on that. But yes, Salah captain, like you say, advice on Pogba. I'm looking forward to game week 24. I like a weekday evening fixture.
Yeah, and all the fixtures are looking pretty good for our team.
Agree.
They're all sort of fixtures that are just against the top teams of lower teams to play, and it just looks like it should be a high scoring week, but it often turns out the opposite, doesn't it? So we'll see.
The only team I'm sort of a bit anxious about not owning is an Arsenal player.
Yep.
Because that game against Cardiff and the run, but unless it's Kolasinac, I can't really see myself bringing in a Aubameyang, because I don't really want to restrike. I've only just got rid of a premium striker, and I sort of want a City midfielder. If I was going to get rid of anyone to get a Aubameyang in, it would have to be Hazard. But I just feel like they're gonna bounce back soon. Maybe this Bournemouth game will be the one. Anyway, there we go. Have you got anything else to add? I feel like we could chit chat all night about fantasy.
No, I think we're done.
We're done. Okay, all right. There it is, guys. You heard it here first. Right. Well, let me just say thank you for joining us, and we'll be back, as we say, probably this weekend with our preview show. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because we'd love to have you with us. And if you're not following us on Twitter, then do so. The link is, or the URL is just below my little screen now. And if you've got any questions about your teams, then please post on the video below, or just tweet us, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And I think if you haven't already, we also put this broadcast out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or if you're listening on one of those, we also put it out on YouTube. So yeah, we're all over it, and if you fancy watching us with our faces, brilliant, we're on YouTube, and if not, you know where to find us. Cool. Right, so until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Cheers, guys.